Welcome back to the channel, everybody. We are here today to discuss Arsenal West Ham. Can you smell it in the air? Arsenal are about to get their trophy. Can you smell it? We got so much to talk about. A couple other things. We're pushing 100K on this channel. I never thought when I just started making these videos, guys, talking about football. You guys know I played. I love it. I've been doing the FIFA, so I just wanted to start making these videos over on this channel a couple years ago. To be at almost 100,000 subscribers, it's crazy, guys. Can you also smell it in the air? We're moving towards the World Cup. I can't really smell it because I think everybody's so locked in on what's going to happen with the Prem, and the excitement just isn't that high. Guys, this game today, I mean, wow. Arsenal get it done in prime Arsenal form. I don't know with Arsenal. You know, they confuse me. They are genuinely a glorified Stoke. I'm watching the game today, and, you know, really to me, they had one difference maker in the attack, and I can't believe I'm going to say who it is because this guy's been stinking it up all season. It was Ødegaard. I mean, guys, Ødegaard got subbed into this game. We're going to talk about a lot with this game, but he was the freaking difference. You know, before we talk into the calls, before we talk into everything else, he was the difference. I mean, Arsenal were not getting a goal today without this guy. Trossard obviously has just been there for them, it feels like, when they need him, but it wasn't just the goal. It was the movement. It was the way Ødegaard looked like he had that swagger and confidence again on the ball. I haven't seen this guy looking that way in so long. He was threading pass after pass. I mean, where has this been? Where has this been? I don't know. I don't know what's been going on with this guy. So, shout out to Ødegaard, man. He's not going to be my man of the match. My man of the match today, I don't know. I mean, guys, you can make the argument it was Fernandes on West Ham. Oh my God, he played crazy. I'd probably say it was Raya, right? Raya today was just phenomenal. But we're gonna get into it. So Arsenal get it done in 1-0 fashion. You know, is it surprising at this point, guys? You know, this is how they've been winning every game. My worry for Arsenal is that your attack is so bad, and if you're trying to build I'm talking a genuine like dynasty over the next couple years. I've been saying this recently. You guys got to sort it out, bro. They look like a grade school team in the attack. This West Ham team, I'm pretty sure, I haven't been following too much this year. I'm pretty sure they're getting relegated. They're an 18th place team, bro. Now I'm going to say this. West Ham is a very tough place to play. We've seen other teams. I think both the Manchesters went there this season and didn't get wins, I believe. So I'm not taking that away. But for a team that's in the Champions League final and a team that is going to win the Premier League most likely this year after the win today, they got to figure it out up there, man. I know West Ham low blocked, but just how I got to read on my Twitter every single day that people say Saka is world class, man. Saka is not world class, bro. All right. I think he's got an injury right now, but he was nowhere today, all right? And then I had to watch after the last game. The Arsenal fans were glazing Gyökeres for sprinting around the pitch and pressing so much with a couple good moments of link-up play that he's this God-tier 9 all of a sudden. They just need better out of the attack, guys, straight up. Madueke, I never see what this guy is doing most of the games I watch. Then I check Twitter on the one game I miss, and he gets a nice goal. You know, but I thought today was a positive with Ødegaard. I thought that was a big positive for them today. That's something for me personally that I don't know if Arteta is capable of assembling more of an attacking side. But I want them, for the fans of the club and their success in the future. Yes, they may win the Premier League this season. Look, if they play like they did today, guys, there is no way in hell they're going to beat PSG. I'm sorry, man. There's just no way. Well, actually, there is a way because we're going to talk about how this is the greatest set-piece team I've ever seen. They won 1-0 today. They didn't win on set pieces. Guys, I'm out of words watching Arsenal. I don't know how they are so good at these damn set pieces. I mean, I think they had a set piece today, had Trossard hitting the double post. And the way they orchestrate these plays, not even just the corners, like everything else, it's like a handball liability every single second for the defensive team. So they are going to go down probably as the greatest set-piece team I've ever seen. And it's very, 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 very impressive that they will win the Premier League with this mainly being their majority style of scoring. Now, they're also going to go down as one of the best defensive teams, man. The way these guys defend and the way they're able to hold on to results, it's not a convincing defensive performance necessarily. It doesn't convince me, but like in terms of like, it makes you feel anxious. It makes you feel like uneasy. Like if you're an Arsenal fan, there's no way with these clean sheets you feel like it's all good, like we got it covered. Like it's coming down to Raya, who's going to be my man of the match today, man. He was sensational, bro. He made that diving header look easy. I think more Fernandez when he had that brilliant play and touches and everything with the 1-2 and gets through on that 1-on-1. He really, I think what he did was he overcomplicated it. I think he knew how good Raya was as a keeper, and instead of bending it far post, which ended up being the overall easier option, a tap finesse, he changed it and went near post, right? And so Raya just made a phenomenal read. We see that going through a keeper's legs a lot of times. It didn't. Raya today, man, was just huge. And then Gabriel comes up, Gabriel, at the end with a massive block until we get to the pivotal moment of the game where Arsenal, yes, they're parking the bus really a lot in the last 10 minutes, holding on to this lead on the road. It really, the level of urgency, guys, this is why I say Raya's going to get the man of the match today, but if you're an Arsenal fan, you need to show Ødegaard respect. Ødegaard was the only player in the attack today that looked like he knew that they had to win this game. I was convinced the whole game that the Arsenal side didn't really realize that, no, a tie is not good enough. You need to win. He came in the game, he brought the energy, and he was the difference. He was the 100% total difference in this game. But then they go and park the bus. They absorb the pressure. They obviously scored right after Raya makes that wonder save. Gabriel has a crazy block at the end, and then West Ham ends up, they get the volley to go. And this is where we get into this, where Callum Wilson gets another chance. I don't think it was Callum Wilson. I don't even know who shot the ball, right? Because everything was a blur at the end. And then they call off the goal due to VAR. Okay, they call it off due to VAR. Now, was it a foul? I'm going to tell you guys, yes. Okay? I believe it was a foul, and it's one of those tough ones where let me pull this up because I don't like doing these videos where you have to get on here and decide to be the referee. I'm not a fan of that because we're not referees, and even referees don't even know what they're doing. Roy Keane seems to think all season. So this is what I'm talking about. Guys, this is a foul. Now, does it directly impact his ability to catch the ball? Maybe a little. I still think he's not catching that with everything going on. Here is where I had two things to say, okay? With VAR, if something is that obvious, why is it taking, I think it was more than 5 minutes because it was a +6 and they ended up playing to the 102nd. Why does it take that long for the referee to decide it's a foul? So that was my first point. And my second point watching it was like, if they call that goal off, it's a bit of a hyperbole to say that half of Arsenal's goals this season should be called off, but you could make the argument that about 5 to 10 of the goals that Arsenal have scored this season, I'm serious, 5 to 10 could have all had that same call. I already went on Twitter and found at least 2 receipts for these, and I can think of many other games I watched this season where Arsenal, either they will do this to the goalkeepers and end up scoring off that play. This is like an elbow to the face. This is complete contact with a goalkeeper's hand and would completely impede his ability to catch the ball, where they just got this ruled off today. But there's been many other times where, they'll bombard, not even necessarily with pulling with hands, like 4 or 5 guys on the goalkeeper, and there's total contact. And so, for me, at this point, I look at this saying it's annoying for the reason that when you're the neutral or the hate watcher here, not the Arsenal fan, obviously you want the calls, you feel a bit like this is not the right call if it's been called the other way all season for them. So they're getting a bit of the roll of the dice luck here because they've had this go for them a lot. And I was watching this play too, not even just with the goalkeeper. I saw about 3 Arsenal players completely holding players, not in this screenshot. It's like this is the moment in the game, right? Everybody knows what's going on. They're putting everybody back. It's a physical game. When is Arsenal, yes, we know there's flopping in football, but when has Arsenal ever not been a super physical game? These guys they're playing for fouls a lot of time. They're playing because they're god tier at set pieces. People, and the Arsenal fans too, they get mad at me because they're like, they take offense. Guys, if you're an Arsenal fan, why do you get so offended? You don't play nice football. You don't play beautiful football. But no one's taking away that, yes, you're playing this style and you will probably get trophies this season, at least one. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that in a manner that obviously I don't prefer that level of football. I don't. But I'm giving you the reality of this is how you guys are scoring and winning. Right? And for some reason that presses everybody like it's not a fact. It's just a fact. This is how, that goal they scored today, honestly, in terms of Arsenal standards, was phenomenal. Like, that was a really good goal that they scored from Ødegaard to Trossard. But I'm saying, a lot of these games are coming down to this one moment because Arteta chooses to manage the games in this format where they're playing in a one goal, not really trying to blow any team out. I think I saw A9 Skills tweet the other day. that I think it was let me pull up 8 9 goals. He doesn't tweet that much, but I think he was showing that like Arsenal have scored like 2 goals. They have not scored more than 1 goal in the last 7 games before whatever games were played. It's just the style they play. So you're gonna get situations where you're gonna get controversy. And guys, I'm not here to be a referee, but I definitely think, regardless, admittedly, am I hate watching Arsenal? And did I not even show you? Wait, did I not even show you? Oh, this is what I was talking about. Look, am I hate watching Arsenal? I don't like Arsenal, guys, because the way they play. That's simple. You go back to Arsenal 5 6 years ago, they were less successful. I mean, there was times with Ozil that I liked watching Arsenal. There's been players, Alexis Sanchez, I've enjoyed, and obviously you go way back, way other players, right? I've enjoyed many of the styles. I don't like the way this team plays. I just don't. Um, and it comes down to moments today where it's definitely frustrating when you have a call that you feel like has been going for them all season, and goes for them again in the inverse way. So I'm not here to be the referee. My two takes are, if it's so obvious. I mean, the responses that I'm getting here where people are hating on me, or people are saying, well, they're taking 5 minutes because the refs are the R word, which I'm not going to say in a YouTube video because I don't want to deal with any snowflakes. But you know what I'm saying? If they're really, really stupid, that's why they take 5 minutes. And like, that's kind of like theorizing. I'm seriously saying, if something is so obvious to the referee, why can't he just go to the monitor for 1 minute and decide, okay, right away it's a foul? And so that's where I get all theoried. I'm like, okay, are there calls coming in from money? Why are we doing 5 minutes here? Why are we doing 5 minutes? So I think regardless of the outcome, the referees need to do a way better job with making their VAR decisions, because it just drags, and it's so much uncertainty and confusion. The reality is, guys, if you're an Arsenal fan, this is the biggest win of the season, bro. Because if you drew the game today, no bueno. I mean, the fact that now you're putting yourself in a position, City have to play Palace, who Arsenal also have to play. They have to play Bournemouth and Villa. I'm going to be honest, boys. That is a tough one for City. I think City today, it's not that they don't believe, but if Arsenal were to draw today, the belief would be a lot stronger for Man City. And now Arsenal have 2 fixtures left. They're going to see Burnley, who I watched play. I did some scouting today. I was watching Burnley play Villa. Burnley, they overplayed today, and they're still crap. They're not good at all. So, I mean, Arsenal will have the home advantage there. Arsenal has a really tough game against Crystal Palace. I don't care what anybody says about Crystal Palace. They're in, I believe, the Conference League final, which is a European final. Yes, it's the 3rd division, but they're playing in a final. And, I've already been seeing the jokes about people saying, well, hopefully they rest the whole team for their Conference League final because they're playing them 3 days before. But boys, this is going to be, such an important game. But guys, it's a huge if. And if you're an Arsenal fan, I think today is the result that just won you the Premier League. So congratulations to you guys. Obviously I'm not in love with the style that's played. I'm not in love when I watch every interview and I feel like Arteta's being an asshole to the interviewers, or crying, or being so like cocky for no reason. It is what it is. Regardless, the results are the results. You're going to win the league. You also got a Champions League to play for. And guys, I know Man City are playing better recently. I don't trust Man City this season. I'm struggling to see how Man City is going to put together even more consistency after this latest run they've been on and beat Palace, Villa, and Bournemouth. I don't think any of those 3 games are easy. I just don't. In my experience of watching all 3 of those teams, I don't think any of those teams are going to be easy, especially Aston Villa. So, you know what? Put the hate watching aside. Another part of me wants to see this also just go down to the last week. And I think with what Arsenal did today, I think they've probably secured themselves the Premier League. I don't see a way where Arsenal's gonna not gonna not cross the finish line now. I mean, they've got a pretty favorable schedule to close out the season. I think for them it's just gonna be early goal is gonna be huge. I think today it got out of control because they did not have the early goal. And that's why they almost dropped this one today. I think Arteta really needs to take the approach at like finding ways to be more clinical earlier in the game. I thought they applied some pretty good pressure off their set pieces earlier in this one, but then it kind of just lulled for a while. And, they end up at the end of the game with, 60-40 possession. They're creating the same amount as the other squad today, West Ham. So we're going to see, guys. We're going to see what happens. But I think Arsenal today have won the Premier League. I think today was the day that they won the Premier League. Guys, referee decisions are always going to be referee decisions, we know. And I think explaining it, people are mad because this has been called a lot for them, where they're not overturning these goals, where they're elbowing goalkeepers. And then today it happens on the other end, and then it, gets overturned for them. So that, to me, I think people are on Twitter saying, like, well, why does everybody say it's not a foul? I don't think a lot of people are saying that. I think people are frustrated that they've seen so many of these goals go this way for them. I said this in the last video with before I sign off. I said this about Arsenal, man. And I said this earlier in the video. If they can get that attack, man, upgraded in the future few seasons, oh my goodness, man. They're going to be scary because they're just freakishly overpowered at set pieces. They're freakishly disciplined defensively. They don't really concede more than 1 goal a game. If they can string together a couple more guys up there, and Arteta can find a way to tactically get this team to be a little bit more successful, man, they had a couple better moments today. There was one play, Gyökeres, I think Gyökeres did like a 1-2 a couple times. It was nice. I want to see more of that from Arsenal. I feel like it ends up being so much cross and hook it in and stuff, and it's great if you get the wins this year. You're pretty much going to win the best 2 trophies this year, the Premier League and potentially the Champions League, but, so I sound a little crazy saying, well, you should do this better, but I think in the long term for the health of the club and the wins going forward, it will help them developing and putting more effort into that part of their game because they've essentially mastered crossing, set pieces, corners, and defending. And Raya should be getting a max contract after today. They should pay him whatever the hell he wants, bro. He's insane. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you later. Peace.